Sign up at NorthCarolinaFC.com/USL Championship to get information about tickets, scheduling, and more. 2024 season tickets are on sale now. Prices starting at just $8 per match. Be sure to scan the QR code on the video for season ticket today or at NorthCarolinaFC.com/season tickets. And spectators, we request your cooperation by supporting the athletes and officials in a positive manner. Visual and verbal statements made by the violence and gender, age, race, creed, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or any other intimidating action directed at officials, athletes, coaches, team representatives, and other fans will not be tolerated or grounds removal from the stadium. They refrain from going out from the playing field, blowing whistles, and interfering with the game. Spectators are not engaging in such actions will be removed from the premises and possibly arrested.
Our meeting is secure. Our meeting is to stay connected with friends. We're on meeting with podcasts. We have this when we go all out. We have one interest. Always naturally. Our meeting is this to our hearts, our neighbors, and all throughout the tribe. And the full week's solutions this year is reaching out and is sending on to the world, seeing their faces.
The North Carolina Football Club is challenged for both of you great men's soccer for tonight's USL League One final match between NCFC and the Charlotte Independents. Here's the officials. Please welcome referee Sergey Diansha, assistant referee Matthew Robin, assistant referee Josh Dushowski. Our fourth official this evening is Jeremy Shear.
It is the USL on ESPN tonight from Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. The 2023 USL League One final. It's North Carolina FC playing host to the Charlotte Independents. It was North Carolina. They just had to get through that one semifinal match, taking down Northern Colorado Hailstorm last weekend. As for Charlotte, a penalty kick shootout. They got by the top seed in Union Omaha. And with that, we welcome you into the broadcast booth with the former pro striker Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Josh Easterman. This is year number 5 of USL League One. But Ricky, for the second straight year, the 1 seed, not in this final.
And it just speaks volumes in terms of the talent and the parity of USL League One over the years, right? But as we flip the script into this particular final, yes, both of these teams were not number 1 coming into postseason play, but make no mistake about it, Josh. Over the course of 33 and 34 games, they've shown their talent, they've shown the consistency, and more importantly, they've shown the ability to grind out results in a numerous of different ways. All that combined has given them a brilliant opportunity to play for a trophy and write their name in history.
And the fun part about today, this is a derby. It's an in-state rivalry. Of course, these two teams, it's the 19th meeting all-time, 8-8-2 this year in USL League One, 1-1-1. This is going to be just a fantastic display of soccer tonight. And how we got to this point, of course, North Carolina, we mentioned the 2 seed this year, the biggest turnaround in USL League One history.
And I think it starts on the attacking phase of the game. You look at the 2 strikers, you look at the 2 wide players, each one of those has 8 goals or more. So it tells you 2 things about this NCFC side. They can produce individual brilliance at any given time, but also the depth and the attacking phase of the game. They need to be very good and confident here tonight.
And of course, Olex Anderson, he leads the line alongside Garrett McLaughlin, but he's been the potent goal scorer this year.
And he's just so good. And what's so important about a striker is the confidence. You see 4 goals against Charlotte in 3 matches this season. He's going to pop into the hole. He's going to run in behind and stretch the opposition. How clinical can he be on the day? That's going to be the question for North Carolina FC today.
And on the other side for the Charlotte Independents, last week, it was the first ever penalty kick shootout in USL League One history.
And I think it comes down to managing moments, right? And with that, you lean on experience. You look at the roster that Mike Jeffries has at his disposal. Players that have been on the biggest books around the club. Joel Johnson, Real Madrid. Gabriel Overton, Manchester United. Miguel Ibarra have represented our national team. So how do you lean on that experience again? I think you need to lean on it again for Mike Jeffries.
And of course, Gabriel Overton just exudes class both on and off the field.
And he's going to play as a true number 10. He just gives you that security, that sense of calmness, and that sense of quality, the ability to beat you 1v1, the ability to beat you through combination play. I do think for Mike Jeffries, the question is, how quickly can he get in a rhythm? Because we've seen Gabriel Overton be an X-factor for the Charlotte side.
It is a beautiful night here in Cary, North Carolina, as we are building you up to first kick of the 2023 USL League One final in-state derby. We have it for you next. Lineups and first kick coming up next from Cary. Back here in Cary, building you up to first kick of the USL League One final. Let's welcome in the third member of our team, the former Georgia Bulldog, Marion Crowder.
Rafa Metzingen, a player not new to the League One final stage. In fact, was a member of the Chattanooga Red Wolves side that made it to the USL League One final just one season ago and lost by way of a game-winning strike in the 82nd minute. I actually talked to him after that matchup, and guys, as you'd expect, nothing but upset, disbelief, and disappointment. But that can be more opposite of how he's feeling coming today. And in fact, the entire NCFC organization is under the belief that the belief within the locker room is the biggest difference between last year and this year. And the results are culminating on the field in just about every category, including for Rafa, who has tallied 5 more goals and 3 more assists than he did with the Chattanooga Red Wolves just one season ago. So for him, a player personally who head coach John Bradford believes belongs at the next level, this is a redemption shot at the League One title he missed out on in 2022.
Of course, scored in that semifinal last year against Richmond. As we take a look at tonight's starting lineups, let's start with the home side from Coach John Bradford. It's the same 11 as last week.
And I think you have to look at that double strikers, Anderson and McLaughlin. What does that relationship look like? We see Anderson, he's going to be the one that stretches the opposition. So McLaughlin, he might pop into the hole, but it all comes down to Summersall and Maldonado. What does that relationship look like, Josh? Maldonado, he's going to sit right in front of that back four, and Summersall, he's going to be the box-to-box midfielder for John Bradford and this North Carolina side.
And on the other side for Mike Jeffries and the Charlotte Independents, also the same 11 as last week.
And you're looking at managing moment, just like you did at UNOMA. So you're looking at CIS, you're looking at NDA. How comfortable can they be on moving the ball from left to right? Austin Pack, how good was he on the road? He's going to want 1 or 2 big-time saves just to weather the storm here. And how good can Spielman and Acosta be in terms of their compactness and keeping everything in front of them?
Just about set to go tonight from Cary, and it is about as perfect a night as you could ask for. The sun setting an hour earlier, might we add here today. We are ready to go. Of course, the first final for the Charlotte Independents. On the other side for North Carolina, their first final since 2010. Both teams have never lifted a league trophy in that span. Of course, Charlotte, it has been quite some time for them. North Carolina, same on the other side. Our referee tonight, Sergei Demyanchuk. He gets the whistle for this 4th ever USL League One final. Fans are ready. Hope you are too. It is the 2023 USL League One final from Cary, North Carolina. Already an early foul, Gabriel Obertan. He did not make it through all 120 minutes last week, was taken off at the midway point of extra time. But he is such a crucial player here tonight for this Charlotte side.
And it's a little bit of a tactical change for the Charlotte side. As Gabriel Obertan, he's going to be spearheading the attack. So that pops out Bennett to this right-hand side, and Miguel Ibarra, he's playing as a true number 10. He started a little bit different on the road now. But how do you weather this storm for Mike Jeffries and the visitors here?
Mike Jeffries said about that game last week against Omaha, he kind of survived the beginning and then just needed to make some big plays as the game went on. As North Carolina looking forward here, it's taken away. Maybe a chance to counter for Charlotte. This is kind of what we saw last week. They absorbed a lot of early pressure and they look to get out on the counter, but that's, in talking with Gabriel Obertan, maybe not necessarily how they want to play.
I think they want to get on the ball, right? Get confidence within the side. So you're looking at that double number 6, that double pivot, CIS and NDA. I think they're going to be the engine for this Mike Jeffries side. We talk about managing moments. We talk about, yes, it's a cup final, Josh. Yes, it's a derby match. We have to understand that you can't play the occasion. You have to play and control on what's happening in the white lines. And I do think that's going to be a key factor early on in this cup final.
John Bradford on the other side for North Carolina FC. He said, playing, I thought we were dominant last week. They were up 3-0 in that one. He said we were bummed to concede a late goal, and it ended 3-1 against Northern Colorado Hailstorm. Of course, they have the top goal scorer in the league in Trevor Ammon. They weathered that storm, and they have been playing great coming into this final, unbeaten over their last 6 matches. As Rafa is in behind here for North Carolina. He'll spin it back. North Carolina will just look to keep it. Slid forward again. Lou Young trying to get to the end line. The cross is cleared away. Costa was there first. North Carolina, though, right back on the ball. Driven into the area. Anderson had it poked away by Spielman. Collected again in the middle. Flores Blanco sends it airborne. Costa stepping forward, but he couldn't keep it either. Rafa's right back on it. Trying to chip it over the top. McLaughlin's there, and the header is looping over the bar. The first half chance of this final.
I think you just see the fluidity that John Bradford likes to see his team to play with, whether it is McLaughlin, whether it is Anderson. Rafa likes to pop in centrally, very comfortable on the ball. And I do think an underestimated side for this North Carolina side is just the two center backs, Josh. So good and so comfortable on the ball. We saw earlier there Fernandez pop a ball over 50 yards on a dime.
Laughlin moves it out wide once again. Has been on the ball quite a bit to start. Somersault. Step by NDA in the middle. NDA comes away with it. And it's taken right back. Rui Perez. The Frenchman, Oberton, the Frenchman, they shared a nice moment pre-game on the field.
And it's interesting as well, you look at this North Carolina side, Maldonado is actually popping onto that back line. So you have Somersault as that single player in the center of the park. And what that does, that it lets Flores Blanco and Lou Young push higher and join the attack as they see fit. And that's something that John Bradford was quick to point out on our phone call with us, Josh. He says we want our outside backs to create overloads on wide areas of the field.
Perez looking for that long switch. Rafa cutting it in. For McLaughlin, keep it moving. Nando on the far side, right back in for Rafa. Trying to go on his left foot, and it's an easy first save for Austin Pack. What a game it was last week, those 7 saves. Most saves in the league across the regular season as well. So interesting talking with Austin Pack this week. He said, it's kind of a get down to business team. Of course, in a final, you get all the fanfare, the extra media responsibilities. He said, we're just looking at the game. We're ready to go.
And it goes back to the message that I said earlier. You don't play the occasion, you play the game. And he said, look, my key is the same thing every single game. Keep the ball out of my own net and stay compact and stay connected with the 2 center backs in front of him, Spielman and Acosta. They need to be very good in terms of the communication and the rotation in this back line.
Great traveling supporting section for Charlotte tonight. There's the in-state rivalry, the Dogwood Derby. That's a foul in the middle, and a free kick will go North Carolina's direction.
Flanagan needs to be very careful. Attack-minded outside back, clear foul. It just throws McLaughlin down to the floor. But as he goes, he has to have the ability to double down and do his defensive duties because Rafa is just so good and so direct on that far side for North Carolina.
Something both of us noticed last week, Omaha was really trying to target that left side of Charlotte's defense. Distribution by Pack. Headed along by Oberton. Flores Blanco is there. Here's Ibarra. Joel Johnson just about able to keep this in play. Motoring down the right. He's still going. Very attack-minded outside back, the Spaniard. They look to get it right back from Ibarra. Options in the middle. Johnson looking to cut it back. A good battle there in the corner. Flores Blanco, I think, asking for maybe a card, but not this early. A foul will go the other way.
And he's a player that I highlighted in the open because Mike Jeffrey says he's been versatile, whether it's playing centrally. Now he pops out to his right back position, but Flores Blanco, talk about textbook defending. Not leaving his feet, moving his feet, and taking the contact with it.
Mike Jeffries back in his, I guess, college area. Just went to Duke in nearby Durham. Of course, the 9th season as head coach, the only head coach in this club's history. At Duke, he played an 8-overtime game in a College Cup final. He said, I guess penalties, we have to do that. That's a little bit better. The player down in the middle here is Omar Sis. Another bright young player for Mike Jeffrey's side.
Just moments ago, just catches the ball awkwardly. You see his right arm. I think he's favoring. Hopefully he's good to go. Such a big part of what the Charlotte Independent side likes to do on both sides of the ball.
And on the other side, John Bradford, 3rd season as head coach for this North Carolina FC side. He's been with this club for about 17 years, he was telling us. Director of the Academy as well. We'll get into more of that as the game progresses, but youth development is at the core of what North Carolina FC wants to do and really what they stand for as a club. Should be a throw-in a little bit farther back here for North Carolina. Play this forward. Alex Anderson able to keep that in play. We'll go back the other way. We're talking with John Bradford this week. It's the biggest turnaround in League One history. The first 2 seasons for this North Carolina side in USL League One, they finished at the bottom of the table. This season, though, they completely turned it on its head. He said it really comes down to being roster and financial related. He said we've been intentional with scouting, and as Mike Jeffries pointed out, they went out and got some of the best attacking players from last year, brought them into this team, and it's obviously worked.
I think it takes a step further as well, because you can bring in all the talent you want in the world, but if they don't buy into the collective effort, it's not going to work. So you look at, especially Rafa, was so good at Chattanooga, comes in and produces at a very high level. And we talked about John Bradford. He said, look, they bought in on both sides of the ball, right? Because so many times players on the attacking phase of the game, they just want to score goals, they just want to get assists, and they don't double down and do their defensive duties. But that's something that we've seen from the growth of this North Carolina side.
Of course, all of those things kind of go into what's going to happen next year. Of course, they've exercised their option to move up to the USL Championship in 2024. This is their final game as a League One club, trying to go out on top. They'll have to do some defending here. Oberton's cross. He put that in a delicious area to attack, but it runs all the way out for a throw-in.
Not a true number 9, so you're going to see him pop into the hole, but also provide the width. Miguel Ibarra just so good at understanding where to be at the right time, but if you're in Mbuyu, you have to get on your bike and you have to slash across the face of the goal, because it's a picture-perfect ball from Oberton. Good passage of play for the visitors.
Next, Oberton, what's your position? Because it's such a fluid front four we've seen from Charlotte this season. He says, I think I'm more of a 10, and you will see as this game goes on. The touches he makes, he is just such a classy player, and Mike Jeffrey's lucky to have him still here in Charlotte.
And just puts a challenge for the 2 center backs for North Carolina as well, because as he drifts out, they have to have very good communication to turn the passing players off. Because if you're Fernandez, if you're Garcia, you don't want to get dragged down in spaces, especially wider of your own 18-yard box.
Somersault. Garcia deals for offside. McLaughlin all the way off in the corner. Come out for a throw in deep in the corner. Talking with McLaughlin this week, he said, I'm not from North Carolina, but he can still sense the intensity of this Dogwood Derby. We are seeing unfold here tonight for the 19th time. The fans, the club, they're all about it. Be a long throw in here, looking for that flick from Summersall, but it's right at Austin Pack. He's able to hold on to it.
As an attacking player, you always want to try your luck. Summersall does very well to win that initial ball, but everyone's on their heels. You want to be opportunistic, especially 13 minutes into a cup final. Big opportunity missed for North Carolina FC.
Charlotte, their first appearance in a final. Hadn't won a playoff game since 2021 before taking down Greenville by 3-2 in the quarterfinals. For North Carolina, it is their first final since 2010, USSF D2 final. They went to the Charleston Battery. And of course, they'll be fighting for a final next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN2. Battery and Phoenix Rising in the USL Championship final. NDI. Moved out wide. Now Charlotte looking forward. Here's Acosta. You're seeing some of that pressure from the front two, McLaughlin and Anderson. This is more of what Charlotte wants to do, be on the ball. Jeffries always asked him how this team wants to play. He said it really starts with being on the ball. Here's Flanagan, the left back, so far forward. Dropped off for Johnson. Not a bad effort. He scored from a similar area against Greenville a couple rounds ago. And the right back letting loose.
Really good understanding from Flanagan. He's your left back, but he's especially high up the field to win this second ball. And if you're Garcia, this ball needs to go high and wide. Information on the ball from Ibarra, just popping it back. Joel Johnson, the technique you see as he's leaning back, it's rising up and over the crossbar. That's exactly what Mike Jeffries likes, like you said, Josh. Slow this game down and get the confidence within your side.
Glory is within reach. Will Charleston Battery or Phoenix Rising reach the mountaintop of the USL Championship? Find out Sunday, November 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes. Bit of a tweak to the lineup after the quarterfinal for Charlotte, and Mike Jeffries, Fabrice Inga, who had gotten the start in that Greenville game, he was changed out of the lineup. Joel Johnson drops a little bit deeper, kind of showing his versatility as well. He's played all over the field this year for Charlotte. Barra dispossessed. Anderson. Here's McLaughlin now. Quick passing in the middle from North Carolina. Donato keeps it moving. It's Rafa driving at this back line. Flanagan defensively. Comes in the middle. McLaughlin diving for that header. He'll run all the way out for a throw-in. Good service in from that right side.
Just see how explosive this home side can be to turn their defensive efforts into attacking opportunities, but good movement from McLaughlin. Slashes across that near post, and it's just one of the most important runs as an attacking player, Josh, because it does two things. If you get on the end of it, it's an easy tap-in, but if you don't, you pull out a center back, you open up a gap for secondary movement. Good move from Maldonado.
Hello, Maldonado. McLaughlin, Perez, cuts it back. Perez going for goal. It's blocked down. Costa or Johnson, and Charlotte will play out. Bennett. Race back the other way. Donato shoots it out for a throw-in.
I think the 6-6 for Charlotte Independents are having a very difficult time just dealing with the movement, because we see Rafa, we see Perez pinching in, so that gives Flores Blanco and Lou Young, the two outside backs, the ability to create an overload. So if you're Sis, if you're NDA, you have to understand your positioning and passing players off, because too many times there's a gap between that back line and midfield line for Mike Jeffries.
Rolled forward, Mbuyu looking for some width. Has a couple options in the middle, lasered across, but it's into side netting. And out for a goal kick. Forward. Quickly won back here by Charlotte. It's Sis. Foul in the middle. North Carolina side 4-7 lifetime in the postseason. Their last win before last week, you have to go all the way back to 2012, the NASL quarterfinals. As Thompson comes to take this. That was against the late great Fort Lauderdale Strikers. So much great history when you talk about North Carolina FC. First season in 2007. They bounced around different leagues, starting in the USL. Some time in the mid-2010 to the NASL. Come into the USL starting in 2018. Hadn't made the playoffs since 2019. Here they are in League One, playing their final match in USL League One.
Exactly what I'm talking about defensively for Charlotte. That's your center midfielder. Sis, so high. He's higher than your number 9, Obertson. So if you can break that initial pressure for North Carolina, you're going to have a lot of real estate to operate in.
Forward, Somersault on the move, cuts it in. McLaughlin will keep it moving. Rafa cutting it in, laying it off. Perez can get it out from his feet. It's Flores Blanco. Perez, white shirts all over the place, closing down those spaces. Just electing to keep it. Charlotte very disciplined in their defending. 0-0 draw for 120 minutes last week against Omaha. As Flores Blanco puts it in, glancing header. And Flanagan helps it out of play at the throw-in.
Good patience here from North Carolina. Not trying to overcomplicate things, but you just see the quality all over the field. Flores Blanco, good first touch out of his body. You just see McLaughlin just on his heels, just waiting for this knockdown ball. Anderson, his movement, playing off of the shoulder. Big focal point for the home side.
Another long throw-in. Maldonado looking for Somersault. The top of the area, Flores Blanco couldn't get there quick enough. Cleared out to midfield. Fernandez all the way back to the young Brooks Thompson, the 21-year-old, on loan from Philadelphia Union 2. He's been the number 1 pretty much since coming over. A nice young prospect in Nicholas Holiday, who, of course, has been battling injuries this year, unfortunately. 17 years old, but there's a bright future ahead of him. U.S. Youth International. Johnson has to go to ground to try to keep this alive. Sis moved out wide. It's Bennett. Corey Bennett blocked cross, and that That was last off the Charlotte winger. For North Carolina FC, youth development is what runs through this team. You see some of the numbers here. 19 signed amateur contracts with this club, 9 going to MLS. So many of them commit to colleges as well. And it's showing that, yeah, you can go to an MLS Academy, but you can also do it right here in North Carolina, where they've been doing it for many years now.
I think it just gives you opportunities to get real professional minutes. And I think that's something that John Bradford, on our chat with him, that he was quick to point out, saying, look, we want to give the youth an opportunity to showcase themselves. And there's nothing like a teacher of the game. So North Carolina FC, they're doing everything right. And just like the numbers are speaking for themselves.
That's what's so interesting about the move next year, the USL Championship, having to kind of blend that youth development also with wanting to put experienced pros on the field. But you can learn from those experienced pros as well when you're in training with them every day. Lofted forward, Anderson. We'll get there. It's Austin Pack. Bennett turned over, and maybe a chance to look upfield. Perez has to cut it back in the middle. Rafa slides it through. Garrett McLaughlin trying to move it across, and it's cleared away. Spielman stepped in defensively for Charlotte. Maldonado turning it back. Cross lifted in. Henderson couldn't get his head to it first. Bennett. Fernandez quickly able to close down that space. Garcia moves it across. Fernandez. Acosta defending hard, and it was a foul going against Garrett McLaughlin there. Charlotte trying to go quickly. Sergei Demyanchuk will slow it down.
We talk about the movement and the understanding off the ball running, but if you're McLaughlin, there's 2 things that need to happen. It's either a touch and a strike on target, or it's a touch with your left foot and a pass with the right foot. As you try to do everything with your right foot, you close this down the time and space, but good movement once again, and you just see the understanding between Rafa and his players ahead of him.
Football 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Free to play. Download now. Minutes gone in this USL League One final. North Carolina FC, Charlotte Independence. In the first half of these sorts of games, teams can try to sit off, relax. I think both these teams are really going for it here in this first 25.
Well, you also see the respect, right? Because you understand the quality of your opposition. Not high pressing, because if you high press, it can break you down with a quick passing centrally. But so far, I think if you are Mike Jeffries, you've been very good defensively in terms of your structure. As NDA insists, sit a little bit more connected with that back four. You make life extremely difficult for North Carolina to break you down.
Ball kept alive, and it's at the feet of Oberton. Just slides it across. Great weight on the pass and the shot. It's just wide of Brooks Thompson's goal.
For 27 minutes in, we've seen Oberton, the quality to bring players in, the vision and the technical ability. Yes, he can find the back of the net, but also doesn't need a second invitation to bring players into this game.
For that ball down the line, getting out of real estate. Deny Oberton the ball. The throw-in. Does get a touch to it. And all the way back to Austin Pack. Somersault. There's Ibarra for Charlotte. NDA. Quickly moved out wide. It's Avion Flanagan trying to turn the corner. Comes Charlotte, and the cross blocked down, and a corner kick on the way for the Independents, their first of the game.
If you can find Ibarra or Mbuyu in those half pockets in the interior, it leaves a lot of space on the outside for Joel Johnson and Flanagan to advance to that final third. Really good defensive run from Rafa to double down with Lu Young and deny a goal-scoring opportunity.
Joel Johnson standing over this for Charlotte. In swinger, punched away, it's still available, and then blocked down. Another opportunity is also blocked. Oberton was the first one there. Charlotte trying to keep this alive. Mbuyu, failed clearance, will keep the chance alive. Ibarra trying to turn the corner, gets the cross to the back post. It's helped on its way, out for a throw-in. What a sequence there for Charlotte, their best chances of the game so far.
When you're not creating through the run of play, set pieces are a brilliant way to open up the goals. Emergency defending in the back for North Carolina. Oberton gets a lot of this. He hits it extremely clean.
Upended and a free kick. Maybe some of the momentum starting to go back to Charlotte a bit in this last few minutes.
It starts with a really good ball whipped in. Thompson does very well to punch it away, but you just see how clean Oberton hits it. Every single player in a blue jersey within their own 18-yard box, not letting this ball get through into Thompson. But if you're Charlotte Independents, you can grow off of this. You can get the confidence and understand you might have the advantage in set pieces.
Johnson, Flanagan, ready to serve. This is Joel Johnson once again. Thompson, able to hold on to this one. Part about this being a derby and a final. Well, that's a pretty cool thing just to begin with, but the other cool part, it's 8-8-2. This is the rubber match, if you will, before North Carolina goes back to the USL Championship. This rivalry dates all the way back to 2015, US Open Cup. So many great battles over the years. Charlotte has not won here since 2020, when both these teams were USL Championship clubs.
Just been so impressed with the movement for the home side in terms of the understanding, because so many times it's not one, but it's two options making those runs around the corner, whether it's the support system or popping the ball back. And there's a reason why this side has scored 58 times in the regular season.
Their long throw, Maldonado looking for Somersal's flick, comes for Flores Blanco, now Somersall just over the bar. Not a bad effort on the half volley.
You have to give credit to Flores Blanco, because as this ball pops out so many times, especially as an outside back, you just want to put it back into the mixer. He understands Somersault is wide open. There's a lot of technique as you have to let this ball come over your left shoulder with the traffic oncoming. Good opportunity for Somersault.
Somersault 14 caps for St. Kitts and Nevis, 26-year-old. Time with Tucson and Tormenta. Second season here with North Carolina. Chested forward, Rafa's after it. He couldn't get on the end of it. Johnson heads it away. Foul by Perez.
Just see how quick this North Carolina side is at winning second balls higher up the field, whether it is Somersault from a central position or Perez Or Rafa coming as a secondary number 9. So much fluidity, so much movement, so much hunger to want to gain the ball higher up the field for the home side here.
Venture forward here for Charlotte. Overton for Flanagan. These clubs in search of their first league title. Flanagan trying to move it out wide. It's turned over. North Carolina can progress the other way. Rafa leading the break. Long switch of play. It's kept alive by Perez in the corner. Send it right back in. Rafa was up for it. Another chance for Charlotte to break. Overton's in the middle. That's where the ball will go. He's clipped, fouled. And a free kick coming for Charlotte right at midfield.
And Charlotte needs to be very careful. As you like to overcommit a lot of numbers forward, it leaves yourself extremely vulnerable going back the other way. Luckily enough, the ball from Rafa just overhit a tiny bit. Going back the other way, Overton just plays off the shoulder of Maldonado. He feels any sort of contact, he's going to make the most of it, and he's going to go down. Has a very good sense of playing in between lines.
Over the top for Oberton, who cuts it in field. Gabriel Oberton couldn't get a shot away. He'll lay it off. The shot comes in low and through traffic. But Thompson is able to get behind it. The first shot on target tonight for Charlotte. Pressure has been put on this North Carolina back line as Charlotte is built into the game. Last week they absorbed plenty of pressure against Omaha. 33 shots, their expected goals at 3.3. They stood strong. A lot of that had to do with what Austin Pack did in goal. Denying the top offense in USL League One history from getting on the board in the semis. Get it back. Brace last week, scoring 2 of his 3 goals this season in the semis. Decision is a throw into Charlotte, but does not agree. Johnson.
We've seen this a lot from Charlotte Independence, building out in a 2-back system. Now it's a Costin Spielman, and that just tells you the trust that Mike Jeffries has, that the ability for those 2 center backs to pick and choose when to break lines in their passing, but also when to play direct. You're looking for emergency defending in transition moments. If you're North Carolina, if you can force a silly turnover, your first look needs to be forward.
Play it down the line. thrown in North Carolina.
And we're going to see it a lot, Josh. Now as Spielman and Acosta get on the ball just a tiny bit more, just take note of the movement of Flanagan, number 7, and Joel Johnson, number 8 in white. They're going to come centrally just to create an overload, and that's going to free up Gabriel Oberton to give him the time and space to go as he sees fit. You talk about the fluidity, you talk about the creativeness, and you talk about the trust that Mike Jeffries has from his players. It's on display here.
Ibarra, U.S. international. Long time with Minnesota United, a year with the Sounders, coming to the USL ranks with San Diego Loyal. Slipped ahead in Mbuyu, couldn't get there. Talking this week with Rafa and with Garrett McLaughlin. This North Carolina team has been stellar on the road this year. 11 wins. They were best in the league. And he said, yeah, I think the conversation may have been had of, we've been good on the road. We're comfortable going on the road. But they said to be able to host a final, that is the ultimate goal when you set out at the start of the year. Torres Blanco. Blanco races in fields. Tries to lay it off, just on the same page as McLaughlin. Oberton. Bit of a loose pass.
Good ball.
He'll get it right back. Omar Sis playing it in behind. Here's Oberton. Steps around Fernandez. Just flips it up to the back post. The header is out of play. He's backpedaling, trying to get onto it.
It's a really good ball around the corner, but if you're Oberton, you're looking for someone to make a secondary run because you only have Bennett in around that 18-yard box. As he recycles, he goes forward, he backpedals back. But if you have a secondary option, a trailing run out of midfield, it's going to be a brilliant opportunity. You just see the movement. It's just not there for Oberton. He picks up his head, only has one option. If you're Mike Jeffries, you want to get the player more involved.
Perez looking for that long switch. Didn't realize that was just hammered straight out of play.
And North Carolina's having a very difficult time just finding Anderson, McLaughlin. Two players as your double number 9. The other one pops into the hole. The other one needs to stay high to occupy the two center backs. But as Anderson's peeling out, McLaughlin, yes, he's so comfortable on the ball, but you want him to stay centrally, right? Because so many times he's coming central. He's dropping in. It's creating an overload, but it's also congesting North Carolina's side. They don't have the line to play through. So you want those two strikers to stay high.
Flipped ahead, Anderson. Back heel looking for the run of McLaughlin. Only cleared by Acosta. Broken up in the middle by Maldonado, but here comes Charlotte. Ibarra racing forward. Blue shirts back defensively. Going to cut this in. The shot is on target, and Thompson's able to scoop it up. Let's bring in the third member of our team, Marion Crowder.
couple of tactical things that I'm noticing here at the field level, guys. Obviously, the direction from the NCFC bench is to push Charlotte wide. They do not want their playmakers to get the ball centrally. They don't want that opportunity for those guys to open up players like Overton in the wide spaces. And the second thing for NCFC is what we have seen them do so well in the first part of this half was the supporting angles, being able to play on the half turn. We have not seen that as the half has progressed.
There's a shot from distance, and Perez getting that out of play. It seems like North Carolina started on the front foot. Charlotte's really built into this. North Carolina may be pressing a bit now.
And I do think that's something that Mike Jeffries also talked about the game at Union Omaha, right? As they start to grow, the confidence starting to come into this play. You start to see this pocket to space open up. It all comes down to the movement of Overton, over Miguel Ibarra, and Buyu hasn't been involved as enough as you would like, but those players are just so good at playing in those gray areas and putting a lot of pressure on the shape of this North Carolina side.
Not going to end this half how they started it. Garcia delivers out wide. Flanagan just run out for a goal kick. Here's Pack. Ibarra moves it along. Oberton right back for Ibarra. Not be any stoppage time in this first half. Maybe just 40 seconds left. Sent forward. NDA. Flag is up. The header was wide, but the flag was up for offside.
We talked about Overton, his vision. And that's actually the center midfielder, NDA. He's offside. You see he's leaning. Good line from NCFC. Talk about the cheekiness. Tells you how good this Charlotte Independent side can be in terms of playing in front of you, but also those latent runs out of midfield can be a killer. Good movement in the front line.
And the referee, Sergei Demyanchuk, says that's enough for half number one. 15-minute break and no score here at halftime of this USL League One final.
I think if you're Mike Jeffries, you're probably pleased of the two managers, right? You grew into this game. You start to get Overton involved just a tiny bit more. Your leading goal scorer, Mbuyu, he needs to get more involved. 9 goals on the season. We haven't seen enough of him, but if you're John Bradford, I do think you're looking at Anderson and McLaughlin to get more connected because we see how dynamic those two can be. They need to get confident. They need to get more service. It's going to be all to play for in this next 45.
Let's send it down to Marion. She's standing by with NCFC head coach John Bradford.
John, 0s at the half. What's going to be your message to the team?
Yeah, stay the course. You know, I thought we created opportunities to get chances, to get goals. We need more runners in the box and to be a little bit more patient in our build-up so we're not just trying to force balls in and that kind of stuff. And obviously transition, being aware of them is that their most threatening idea.
You've executed your strategy well so far, but how about this atmosphere? What do you have to say about the potential to win a League One title at your home turf?
It's everything we could ask for. Now we just got to make sure we execute and win it here.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Good to hear the thoughts from John Bradford. We have reached halftime here from Cary. There is no score in this USL League One final. Still very much there for the taking. Stay with us here. It's the USL on ESPN. Halftime here from Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. The 2023 USL League One final. No score at the half between North Carolina and Charlotte. Well, it is award season in USL League One. We'll take you through all of the finalists. Let's start with the Young Player of the Year, Jackson Corey, Jaden Onan, and Omar Sis. You're seeing Sis here tonight. Corey of South Georgia tormented the Australian, led all eligible players with 7 goals for Jaden Onan, and he is part of forward Madison, time with Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and Brentford from England. And of course, the defenders. And Arthur Rogers, he leads this list. He's done a lot of good defending. He's also done a lot of good attacking in terms of a couple of good center backs, Alexi Suwahi and Jordan Skelton as well. Skelton, a very experienced League One veteran. Suwahi, the 2018 USL Championship title winner with Louisville City. As for the goalkeepers, Lalo Delgado, we've seen him in the USL Championship with Phoenix, with Las Vegas. We're seeing Austin Pack, what he has been able to do. But how about Sean Lewis, the 2023 USL League One Golden Glove winner for the first-year club in USL League One in One Knoxville SC. How about the coaches up for the award? Eamon Zayed, he played in this league. He now coaches in this league for Northern Colorado. Dominic Casciato, what a season Omaha has put together. A league record in points and in goals. And of course, we're seeing John Bradford and this North Carolina team on display here tonight. As for the top players in the league for Player of the Year, it's mostly been the man from Richmond and Emiliano Terzaghi. He's not on this list. It's Trevor Ammon, it's Olex Anderson, it's Arthur Rogers who is there as well. Such a great service player for Northern Colorado, Trevor Ammon. He's been scoring a ton of goals as well. He led the league through the regular season. It is halftime here from Cary. No score between NCFC and Charlotte. More halftime, and the second half is coming up next. Well, a great day here in Cary, North Carolina. Of course, it started off with the ACC Women's Tournament Final, and then in between, the fans sticking around, a nice fan fest to get the fans excited for this USL League One Final. Some picture opportunities and just a fun day out here at Wake Med Soccer Park. As we welcome you back here to Cary, North Carolina with Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Josh Eastern. Well, Ricky, no goals, but who do you think that first half favors?
And honestly, I think it's Charlotte Independence, right? You talk about Mike Jeffries growing into this game. Overtime, I thought, was terrific. Miguel Ibarra got more involved, but I do think clear-cut opportunities. Who's going to produce that individual brilliant moment? And I do think if you're Mike Jeffries, you're probably the happier of the two managers walking into halftime.
Well, no goals, but still plenty of good chances through that first 45 minutes as we look at some of the highlights. And how about the traveling supporters? And then Charlotte, they had something to cheer about right away.
And you talk about Gabriel Overton. He was at the thick of everything going forward for Charlotte Independence. You talk about the movement, you talk about the outside backs coming century to create overload. I thought Joel Johnson, I thought Avion Flanagan were very good at understanding where to be at the right place at the right time. But you just start to see North Carolina not on the same page defensively, whether the center backs are going to press high or the two center midfielders are going to drop off. You talk about the understanding for North Carolina, the movement on the understanding. McLaughlin, I thought, was very good, but you want to get him a tiny bit more service, Josh. It's going to be interesting to see that relationship between him and Anderson in this next 45.
Plenty of good chances, and they kept coming for North Carolina. They started to kind of fizzle out, but Flores Blanco out wide put in some good service.
But you also see North Carolina, everything has come from the wide areas, right? It hasn't been through combination play, and that's something that we've seen throughout this regular season. North Carolina's ability to break you down through quick passing and quick movement. Charlotte Independence has been very good defensively.
Well, North Carolina actually one less shot at the end of that first half than Charlotte, but they have much more of the ball. We will have the second half of the USL League One Final from Cary, North Carolina, coming up next. Well, it's not every day that we have a former League One striker in the booth with us, and it's not every day that a League One striker scores from midfield. What do you think of this, Ricky Lopez-Espin?
It's all right.
Just all right? Just all right?
I'm hoping someone on this field can have the courage to produce something like that, but you talk about the movement, right, Josh? You want a number 9 that wants to get himself into the box, hungry to have goals. Yes, there's talented players on this field, but you can take a little bit of note from this highlight reel from
Oh, yeah. Fort Lauderdale CF legend and Ricky Lopez-Espin up and down the field wearing that number 7. As we welcome you back here to Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Josh Eastern. Marion Crowder is down on the field. Players in position and ready to go for this second 45 minutes. Who is going to get their first star? We are underway the second 45 minutes. Will it be concluded in this half, or will we need more? And for Charlotte, it'll be the second straight week that we need 30 minutes more. We'll see when we get there. Still a long way to figure that one out. Mentioned in the first half, Charlotte, they've never been to a final before. For North Carolina, their first since 2010, the USSF D2 final against the Charleston Battery. Both these teams still looking for that first star. What a way to go out for North Carolina FC it would be to go out as champions. Oberton to flick that ahead. All the way back to Thompson, who has to be quick, and he was. There's Omar Sis right through the middle. Oberton just couldn't collect it. That's a collector's item. A missed touch there by Gabriel Oberton as North Carolina races back the other way. Rafa hesitates. It's Perez. Young on the overlap. Perez, though, will cut it in. He'll go for the curler. It's bouncing in front. Lou Young was attacking it. Spielman able to head it off into the corner and clear it out of play. And let's welcome in the third member of our team, Marion Crowder.
Thanks, Josh. I got to talk to Mike Jeffries at halftime. I asked, what did you like about your team in the first 45 minutes? He said the good was that we had great intensity. We need to keep that, especially with this crowd that NCFC has brought. The improvement we need to see is being okay with skipping a pass. They're obviously trying to take the midfield players of Charlotte out of this game. We need to be okay having a different look to us in the attack, and then we need to make sure that we are aware of the services and deal with their runners in the box.
Long throw in, flicked into the middle. It's still available. Spielman. Barra helps it on its way. Talked about Charlotte being so fluid in that front four. I guess it's a good thing when you're trying to, or a tough thing to do when you're defending it, but maybe from an attacking sense, maybe don't know where everybody is at all times.
I mean, that's when it comes to the understanding, right? What you work on in training, and I do think Mike Jeffries has to trust to understand that you can lean on a player like Gabriel Oberton, like Miguel Ibarra, like Joel Johnson, players that, like I said in the open, Josh, have been on books at the biggest clubs in the world, right? So how do you lean on those players? How do you understand their movement? Watch out here.
Opportunity. Alex Anderson. It's Summersall. Snatched out of the air by Austin Pack. A bad effort from that distance.
And he's just the engine for this North Carolina side, Summersall. Box-to-box midfielder. His relationship between him and Maldonado needs to be very good at understanding. As Summersall is going to be, he's going to be the one attacking more. Maldonado has to have the ability just to be that single pivot and sit back in front of that back forward as that security blanket.
Oberton flicks it along. He gets it right back from NDA. Oberton to do it himself. This time cleared away. Go all the way back to Austin Pack. Distributes for Mbuyu.
It's a little bit of a tactical change now for North Carolina as Rafa is playing on this left-hand side. Perez on this right-hand side.
Corey Bennett looking for the service into the box. It's Joel Johnson that far forward. North Carolina has not lost. They've been tied at halftime. Charlotte, they've been tied quite a bit at halftime, and that goes into how stingy they are to play against defensively. We saw that last week. Last week, though, technically a draw in penalties.
I talked about the tactical change for John Bradford because Perez is left-footed by Trey and playing on the right-hand side. We saw moments ago he's going to come centrally to combine with players around him, and that's going to leave a lot of real estate for Lou Young to come around the corner to create an overload. We talk about players that like to be inverted. That's something that John Bradford's going to want to play more as this has progressive.
It's a free kick on the way for Charlotte. And you'd probably suspect that Gabriel Oberton will have his sights set on this one.
Here Garcia here. Tell you what, had a lot in there for Mbuyu. Just feels the contact, he goes down and he makes the most of it. Center back from North Carolina has to feel hard done by. But what a brilliant opportunity this is for Charlotte Independence to put that man under a lot of pressure.
Flanagan, Sis, Oberton, all standing around this. Flores Blanco needs to lay on the turf behind the wall. Who will it be? It's Gabriel Oberton. He'll just clip this in. It's Spielman to try to put it back into the middle and put out a play. Corner kick on the way.
Something straight off the training ground for Charlotte Independence. You see this run from Spielman. I do think if he goes with his head and heads it back across where it came from, you have Bennett just chomping at the bit for a secondary option.
And the header is deflected out of play. It'll be another corner on the way for the Independents.
You just see Mike Jeffrey and his technical area jumping up and down because that was almost executed to perfection here for the visitors.
Right in front of the Charlotte supporter section. Johnson going to get it by the first man. Ibarra. Joel Johnson kept himself onside. Usually a right-footed player, had to go with his left, and that runs out of room. It's a goal kick. Right gone. Joel Johnson, the Charlotte all-time appearances leader. Stepped away from this club in 2022, went to Hartford Athletic, 34 appearances, 4 goals with them. He is back here. He's with the club from 2016 to 2021. 7th season overall. Looking for the run of Anderson. Just nods it back. North Carolina able to keep it. Rafa for Lou Young. Tries to stand it up to the back post. The header back. McLaughlin saved. Alston Pack picking up right where he left off last week. Another big save.
And it's the best passage of play for North Carolina. You look at the movement from Lou Young. He understands when to go and advance himself. But talk about the composure and the vision from Anderson, because so many times when a number 9 gets in that position, they try to go for the spectacular. He understands the cutback is on. The real estate for McLaughlin is just a pull off straight at Austin Pack. But that's something that if you're John Bradford, you want to see a little bit more of in terms of just breaking down this Charlotte Independence back line, quick passing through the middle, and then you get your outside backs involved.
Heads it forward again. Oberton, and now Ibarra. Mbuyu didn't get there. Liu Young was sliding in and out of play. Obertan turning forward. Obertan for Ibarra. Into the middle, attacking it with Johnson. And Perez gets it away. It's just back and forth. This game really opening up. Easy on the eye. McLaughlin racing away. McLaughlin, some contact there on the edge of the area. Anderson out of play. It's a goal kick. You having fun yet?
Back and forth, and I do think this plays into the favor of North Carolina, but you look at the movement from Anderson, quick to react, and that's exactly what you want as a number 9. A fox in the box, the ability to lose his individual marker, just doesn't get his hips around it to put it on target, but I don't think that's anything in there from Acosta and McLaughlin. Just two players trying to battle for that loose ball.
McLaughlin, 9 goals, 7 assists this year, off a 14-goal campaign last year. Second season with North Carolina. They're spending time with Toronto FC 2, RGV. Somersault. And Garcia. Liu Young trying to face forward. Rolled in behind Spielman, all over Anderson. Alex Anderson infield, Somersault. Liu Young. Carolina, 61% possession in that first half. Keep that number up here in the second.
That's a different sense of just a confidence from this North Carolina side coming out of the break, and I don't think it's any coincidence, Josh, that we see Anderson getting more on the ball, involved in the build-up phase. 17 goals, 6 assists on the season. So he's a player that you wanted to get confident, and he's been really good to start the second half here.
Let's welcome in the third member of our team, Marion Crowder.
Guys, right now, just the tempo of this game is playing exactly into the hands of NCFC. Ricky, to your point, this is exactly what they wanted to do. Talking to their head coach, he mentioned that any kind of rhythm we can get Charlotte Independence out of is a win for us.
They are disrupting things at the moment, and they do win it back in a good area, but Spielman came forward yet again. Or Spielman, who scored the game-winning penalty last week in the shootout against Omaha. First ever penalty kick shootout in USL League One history. Another foul, free kick. Great atmosphere tonight. Proximity between these two. Not very far, just about a 2.5-hour drive. Here comes Charlotte. Cut this in and cut it back. It's Bennett. Headed away. And maybe a chance to break now for North Carolina. They'll slow things down. It's just the second professional league final in American soccer history, contested by a pair of in-state opponents. You want to know the other, Ricky? I know you were just wanting to know.
Give it to me.
2001 MLS Cup, San Jose beat the Galaxy. Down the line, McLaughlin. It's back in fields. Contact there absorbed by Perez. Lays it off Maldonado. And Somersault. Garcia just able to move it out wide for Liu Young. Somersault again, he's going for it! And inches over the bar. Not the first time he's tried that tonight.
Better in terms of their decision-making from this North Carolina side. As Liu Young picks up his head, he says, my options are not on. So let me just recycle this thing, and Somersault has the ability to pull up from distance. Doesn't need a second invitation. We need to produce a little bit of individual brilliance to beat Austin Pack from that distance.
NDA. NDA is going to be a foul. This has been a very representative game of what we've seen in USL League One this year. It's been tight throughout. It's pretty certain coming towards the end of the season that Charlotte was going to finish in that 4th spot. The top 3, though, really came down to the final few weeks and final day of the season. Northern Colorado, I guess the odd team out, if you will, having to play in that quarterfinal against forward Madison and then coming on the road. But thought all roads were going to go through Omaha until Charlotte had some other ideas. As Rafa goes down, it's a free kick for North Carolina. I don't think Nick Spielman necessarily agrees with Sergei Demyanchuk.
And it's the understanding here from Rafa. As McLaughlin drops in, where's the real estate? It's making that direct run and pulling out a center back. Spielman does not want to get wider. You see it's a little bit of an extension of the left arm, but I'll tell you, it's very soft. Much like we saw for Charlotte Independence on this side of the field. Good opportunity for North Carolina just to whip this ball into a dangerous area and ask questions of Pack and his back line.
Spielman just imitating that shrug emoji you see all the time. And Rafa will stand over it.
These are always tricky for a goalkeeper because if you're Rafa, you're aiming for that back post. If no one touches it, it can squeak in.
The referee will slow things down for a moment. The referee and Nick Spielman know each other a little bit better over the last few minutes. Garcia will have a conversation as well. Here's Rafa towards the top of the area. Flores Blanco sends it straight out of play. We saw Charlotte try something off the training ground. North Carolina does. This one doesn't quite come off.
It's going to be a frustrating one for John Bradford. Because as this ball gets popped into Flores Blanco, I think Rafa wants it back, right? So he can get his hips around it and just rope this thing. Just getting caught a little bit off balance. Flores Blanco, no man's land. Opportunity missed for the home side.
For our 5th unique champion in the league's 5th season here in this USL League One final. Two in-state rivals, the Dogwood Derby. And a foul will set up a free kick coming for Charlotte. They go quick with it. You see the foul. Oberton dragging that shot wide.
Just so clever in his movement. He plays off the shoulder of Maldonado and Somersault, so it causes a lot of confusion within the defensive structure of North Carolina, because then if you're Garcia, do you step, do you stay? And that little bit of hesitation gives this real estate for Oberton to pick up his head and just pulls it wide.
Right through the middle. It'll come all the way through for Anderson, but the flag will stop his progress.
Clearly offside there from Anderson. Just plays off the shoulder of Spielman. Gives me Acosta, that is. But I do think if you're John Bradford, you want to see more of that. Your two-target man a bit more connected on the front line.
Sis. And Acosta. floating it forward. Bennett able to collect this for a moment. Hernandez step forward. Here's Ibarra. Oberton headed into the middle, headed into the air. Johnson collects. Looking to turn it back. Joel Johnson. Oberton. Costa now. For Johnson, who nods it back for Oberton, lets it run through. It's Ibarra, and it's blocked. Rafa, maybe a chance to break, although this comes all the way back for Austin Pack. Oberton down the line for Sis. Flanagan all the way to the end line. The cross comes in, headed out. It's Ibarra, and blasts it into the Charlotte supporters section, which is where we might find Marion Crowder, I've heard.
As you can see, Josh, we are electric over here. We've got the Met Reserves, and we've got the Blue Fury. And look, it is a short 2.5-hour drive from Charlotte to Wake Med Soccer Park, and they came in full force tonight. And I actually asked, what do you think about NCFC going to USL Championship next year? They told me they are running away from us.
Well, we'll see if they can give them a loss on the way up, I guess. That's what's made tonight's atmosphere so fun. The NCFC supporters to our right, the Charlotte supporters to our left. Rafa. Perez. Maldonado. Touch it along. Connected again by Somersault.
And it's something that we didn't see enough of in the first half for this North Carolina side, just creating triangles in central positions, because that gives you two options, whether it's to cut back, whether it's to advance yourself. But watch out here.
NBA able to keep it alive. Oberton. He's still out wide. Slow things down as Johnson comes forward. Here's Oberton, deflected. Or did it take a deflection? It looked like it. Looks like it'll just be a goal kick.
When I talk about the understanding here from Gabriel Oberton, takes a deflection. As Garcia closes down the space, clearly off of his left foot, right in front of our center referee. Oberton feels hard done by.
Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. The final quarter of these 90 minutes. I won't save the game because we still might have 30 minutes more if we can't split this deadlock. Somersault. Perez. Flores Blanco. Perez keeps it moving. Flores Blanco overhits the cross.
And it's exactly the movement that I'm talking about. As Perez comes centrally, there's a passing lane around the corner for Flores Blanco to advance himself, but this ball needs to be cut back. You just see the back line of Charlotte Independence. They're retreating towards the goal line. So where's the real estate? McLaughlin right on top of that 6-yard box. Asking for a little bit of bit more of composure and quality from the outside back.
One back, good physical play in the middle by Summersall. Perez. Back for Summersall. Not afraid to hit it from here. This time it's Rafa. Rafa gets the cross in. McLaughlin wouldn't really jump for that one, and Pack is able to hold on to it.
It's a difficult one for number 9. As Rafa just chips his ball into the back post. You have to have the ability to elevate yourself and get enough power to beat Austin Pack. McLaughlin just runs into Anderson on his run in as well.
Here's Bennett trying to run in behind. This time cleared away. Look forward, Oberton. Oberton trying to roll it in field.
Great touch.
Rafa able to get around the corner. Flanagan a jersey tug, and that's our first yellow card.
This gets caught wrong-footed. Flanagan. The hips are squared to Rafa. He's just so quick. Clear tug of the jersey, always going to get you in the book. 70 minutes mark, outside back on the yellow card. A big challenge in terms of his discipline and his positioning now for Flanagan.
I was just thinking, we haven't seen any subs yet in this game. We also hadn't seen a yellow card, so you wonder, gears starting to turn now for some of those Charlotte substitutions if we do see them. Cycled out wide. Is that a handball? It looks like it is. And a free kick coming up.
So take a look at it. The right arm, it's not in a natural position from Joel Johnson, and that's what gets him in trouble. Once again, a very dangerous set piece for North Carolina here. I do think if you're Rafa, once again, trying to whip this ball over the left shoulder area of Miguel Ibarra with the traffic oncoming right in front of Austin Pack.
Rafa ready to deliver. Service comes in, Overton heads it away. Chance to hit it from distance, blocked down once again. Summersall. Is there a whistle? I don't think anybody heard it, but there was. This is going back to Charlotte at the end of the day here. And the ball hit the referee, which means it'll be a drop ball and it will go back to Charlotte. Unfortunate there for North Carolina. Here's Sis. Ibarra. Hernandez came forward. Now here's Summersall. Touched away. And down the line, McLaughlin going shoulder to shoulder with Acosta. Carolina trying to keep this alive. Referee says that was all ball. Flanagan coming back the other way. Bit of a heavy touch. Cleared out of play. Decided to go quickly here on the throw. Ibarra chasing after it. Touch back. Barra in for Oberton. For Sis, it's Joel Johnson, and it's blocked. Trying to run onto that one. We've seen that before. Out for a throw-in, and a substitution is on the way for Charlotte. And what a card to pull if you're Mike Jeffries, just the USL all-time goal-scoring leader. It is Dane Kelly on for Corey Bennett.
75 minutes in, a very difficult shift here for Bennett. Didn't really get his impact felt, didn't really get in any sort of rhythm, but now you bring in Dane Kelly. He's going to be the focal point, and he's going to spearhead the attack for Mike Jeffries. So that frees out Gabriel Oberton to play as a true number 10. Miguel Ibarra might pop out to that right-hand side, but clinical in around that 18-yard box. We've seen from his career the ability to score big-time goals and big-time moments, and none bigger than right here for Dane Kelly.
He has scored everywhere he's gone, all the way back to 2011 when he started his career with the Charleston Battery, Swope Park Rangers, Reno, Richmond, Indy. And now his third stint here and his third season with the Charlotte Independents. He missed last week, was listed on the injury report. He did come off the bench, though, in the game against Greenville in the quarterfinals. And now he enters here. Talk about fluidity in that Charlotte attack. He's an out-and-out striker. He's a goal-getter, as you just talked about. Maldonado in the middle. Crowd really getting into it. 15 minutes to go. Lu Young just recovered well enough. Maldonado. McLaughlin. Locked out of play.
Moments ago, you just see Gabriel Oberton giving Mbuyu an earful, saying you need to be stronger in terms of that 50-50 ball, because if he wins that, you're off to the races. And then Charlotte Independent, yes, you bring in Dane Kelly, but it also gives you a different look going forward, right? He's going to occupy Fernandez and Garcia as a true number 9. So now those two center backs, time again in that first half, they were getting pulled out of position. They didn't really have a false number 9 who to follow. So something that if you're Charlotte Independence, how quickly can you get Dane Kelly involved into this game and get him confident?
Acosta for Oberton. Mbuyu running right at Lu Young. Tresor Mbuyu. Cross blocked. Rafa looking for options. Maldonado just out in front of him. Surveying to switch the point of attack for Rafa. This game has been up and down in the second half, back and forth. Both teams in search of their first league title. To hit this from distance is Dane Kelly. Will fall for Sis. NDA. NDA going for the curler. Not a bad effort, but Brooks Thompson got both hands behind it.
You just start to get the sense that North Carolina is starting to get heavy legs, especially in the center of the park. Somersault Maldonado not having the ability to do their defensive duties and track back. NDA understands the real estate is, by cut centrally, it doesn't bend it away enough from Thompson.
Seen any subs from North Carolina yet. Jaden Cervania, though, could be getting ready to come on. Mbuyu for Oberton. Kelly's up ahead. Mbuyu cleared away. McLaughlin off his chest. Anderson collided with NDA in the middle. As Perez comes forward, McLaughlin, some hard running up ahead. Louis Perez moves it across. McLaughlin to the end line. It's out of play for a goal kick, and that is great defending.
I think if you're Perez here, you have to pull the trigger. It's a brilliant run in from McLaughlin, because what he does, he pulls out Spielman and opens up this lane. But as he tried to be a little bit unselfish, he played into the path of McLaughlin. Like you said, Josh, textbook defending from Acosta. Doesn't dive in, moves his feet, and just shields this ball out and wins a goal kick from side.
23-year-old from Venezuela, Hector Acosta. As Mike Jeffries put it, we don't really have a middle class. We have a lot of experience and we have a lot of youth. A lot of players in that late 20s, mid-20s age group. We've been able to blend it very well. Rafa. Looking up in the middle. Here's Dane Kelly. Mbuyu. Mbuyu by Flores, or pardon me, by Garcia, comes into the middle, and Maldonado keeps it moving. Perez fouled. Looks like there'll be subs from both sides upcoming. Looks like first, though, it will be a substitution coming for Charlotte. Is Luis Alvarez coming onto the field. And the sub for North Carolina. We'll see Jaden Cervania come onto the field. Changes in the front part of the field for both teams. As Miguel Ibarra will be the one coming off, and it sounds like Olex Anderson will be coming off as well. No Golex tonight. Did not get on the score sheet as he makes the slow walk off. It'll be the Puerto Rican international Jaden Cervania to come on.
And you just see the frustration portrayed on Anderson. Didn't really get in any sort of rhythm. It just tells you the mindset of John Bradford. You bring in Cervania, a player that likes to dictate tempo, that's going to play centrally as a true number 10.
It's an equally slow walk-off for U.S. International Miguel Ibarra. 33-year-old, his second season here with Charlotte. And the youngster Alvarez from Honduras comes on. Played for Lobos in Honduras. Scored a penalty kick last week in the shootout. Well, it was 5 for 5.
And it's a like-for-like substitution now for Alvarez. He's going to slot into that right winger position. So you have Oberton as a true number 10, Dane Kelly as your number 9, and then Mbuyu playing on this near side as a winger as well.
Kelly maybe thought he was fouled, but play continues on. Somersault wins it back. That's the tough part about playing with two strikers. One of them has to be sacrificed here late on.
And I do think it's the right decision from John Bradford as well. You look at the course of 83 minutes, who was the more involved, who was the more willing, making those runs, those darting runs from a central position, asking questions of the back line. It's been McLaughlin. And yes, Anderson has 17 goals on the season, but creating not only for himself, but also being selfless as a number 9 is something that McLaughlin has shown over the course of this season.
Mbuyu, Kelly, touched out of play. If you can't watch the match, you're on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Perez. We find a winner in regulation. Otherwise, it's 30 minutes of extra time. It's the USL League One final coming down to it. Last year, We saw a dramatic late winner from Jameel Roberts and Tormenta. Year before that, it was Union Omaha. And then a big win over Greenville. 2020 was through the regular season standings. 2019 was North Texas. Just one goal in that game, taking down Greenville Triumph. They get another late goal here today. All those finals finished in regulation. Here's Rafa looking for that redemption arc here tonight. Spielman. Flanagan just able to turn the corner on Perez. Flanagan is fouled. It's a free kick and a yellow card. Louis Perez into the book.
Just gets caught with his foot in the cookie jar, not once, but twice. It's a clear foul, but you look at the angle that Flanagan takes. He cuts right in front of Perez, and Perez needs to make a decision. Do I let him go or try to make a play on this ball? If I make a play on this ball, I have to get that challenge exactly right. He gets it all wrong. Sees yellow. And now a brilliant opportunity for Charlotte as Joel Johnson stands over this.
Two-man wall protecting that near post as Brooks Thompson continues to organize. Joel Johnson looking to whip this in, I'm sure with pace.
And much like Rafa we saw moments ago, if you're Joel Johnson, you're aiming for right between that left ear and left shoulder of Cervania. And aiming for that back post low and hard is going to give you your best bet here.
Johnson is ready. It hits the wall, or no, rather, this is just straight out of play. He just mishit that. Wow, big miss.
Frustrating one, especially with the quality that he has at his disposal. He's going to want this one back. You just see the body language as he kicks it. Balanced all off, knows exactly he gets it all wrong.
Three minutes plus stoppage time. Well, we have 30 minutes more. Stays in play. Cervania. Taken off the ball. Bouillou got his body in the way. Perez is down. And now the cards are starting to come out. This will be a yellow card for Bouillou.
And he's late to this challenge in Bouillou. But what gets him in trouble is as he exposes the studs here, Perez comes through, clear foul. Big no-no when you're challenging for a ball. You leave your foot high, you show your cleats, you're always going to get in trouble.
The referee has run out of spray, so he needs a new bottle. A lot of training ground moves on these set pieces. See if Perez wants to go a bit more direct, just serve one up. Right in front of the Oak City supporters behind the goal. Late into the night here in Cary. Louis Perez curls it in and it's headed away immediately. It's still not gone though. It's out for a throw-in as we enter the 90th minute. Donato, who will come over and throw this one in. All-league first-team player this year with Rafa and with Oleg Sanderson, North Carolina contingent. Long throw. Summersault trying to flick it along. It's Perez! Boy, did he hit that clean, but just wide.
The technical ability on display from Perez. This ball falls kindly to him. He hit it off the half volley. He tattoos this thing. He does everything right. Just pulls it wide and Boston back in that goal mouth.
Stoppage time is 3 minutes tonight. Both these teams battling for their first star. A new champion in USL League One. North Carolina trying to go out on top. Johnson looking for the switch of play, and it's cleared away. NDA. Costa for Johnson. Moved out wide. The cross coming in. Dane Kelly! Trying to attack that. It was deflected out. It's a late corner kick here. A minute gone at the minimum of 3. Alvarez to stand over this. Take their time, get this one just right. The in-swinger headed away, didn't get it by the first man. Flanagan. Alvarez serves it up. Thompson has to stay on his line. Vision there at the top of the area. It's cleared. Well downfield, Sis. Great first touch with the oncoming Cervania there. Charlotte into the middle, deflected. Lu Young, not convincing, but Mbuyu lost his footing. Flanagan trying to keep this alive. A minute to go in regulation time. Perez. And all the way back for Thompson. Some pressure there on the young goalkeeper. Oberton, he gets there first. Omar Sis. Mbuyu off the mark with Dane Kelly. Sis trying to get in there. 2 players down, no whistle. Now the whistle comes with Summersall pounding the ground. And for the first time ever, a USL League One final will need extra time. It's the second straight week Charlotte will play the extra 30. And we are not done yet here from Cary, Ricky.
Just back and forth. Exactly what you expected in this second half. Players flexing their muscle, players producing those magic moments. But what's going to give? You want to be a champion. Everyone's great when they're fresh, when they have juice in their legs. But now as fatigue sets in mentally and physically, how do you rise above the adversity and produce that quality that we know is on the field, Josh? It's going to be extremely interesting, this extra time period here.
Well, let's look back at these 90 minutes. Plenty of chances in this game. 15 shots total for North Carolina, 19 for Charlotte, and there were a lot from distance.
And it's interesting because we look at this game, we look at the attacking presence, we look at the talent that's on the field, but yet there was no clear-cut opportunity, right, to put a lot of pressure under Pack and Thompson. But you have to give credit to Mike Jeffries and John Bradford because they were just so good defensively, right? Box defending from each side was so good, but who was going to have that little bit of clinicalness in their attacking 18-yard box? We didn't really see much of it. You talk about the movement, and you talk about the overloads from North Carolina, especially on this near side. I thought Lou Young came alive in the second half. You don't put a lot of pressure on Austin Pack. If you don't have brilliant opportunities, you're not going to score a goal. This is probably the best opportunity for North Carolina.
Now extra time. Of course, we'll play 30 more minutes. It's 2 15-minute periods, no golden goal. And if there's still no goals and nothing to break the deadlock tonight, we'll go to penalties, and that would be a second straight week going to penalties for Charlotte Independence. Gabriel Oberton, he came off at the midway point of extra time last week. We'll see if he goes the full 30 here tonight. Let's welcome in the third member of our team once again, Marion Crowder.
Well, guys, we're seeing a lot of firsts here in this USL League One postseason. Josh, as you mentioned, this is the first USL League One final to go to extra time. And when we look at the history of both of these clubs, earlier this season, Charlotte lost in the U.S. Open Cup to Charleston after early time. They also won, obviously, against Omaha last week after extra time, and then finally in pens. And then on the flip side, North Carolina FC, they lost in extra time to Loudoun this season in the U.S. Open Cup. And if we just kind of reset how we've gotten here and take a look back at everything of these USL League One finals, 2019, North Texas getting the win over Greenville. 2020, Greenville was awarded the championship. 2021, Omaha getting it done in regular time. And in 2022, Tormenta, a late game winner in the 82nd minute. So we are here to make history tonight, boys.
There is no doubt about that. Only twice has the Shield winner ended up winning the final. Obviously, that won't happen this year with Omaha having been eliminated in the semifinals. But now we get 30 more minutes trying to find a winner in this Dogwood Derby USL League One final. You're just flipping over. Welcome with Ricky Lopez-Espin, Marion Crowder down on the field. I'm Josh Eastern. This has been quite the 90 minutes, and we are not done yet. 30 more to finish out this weekend across the USL.
And it's quick to point out for North Carolina as well, for John Bradford, you take off your leading goal scorer, right, Anderson, and you bring in Cervania. So your big-time players step up in big-time games. He's up for Player of the Year. He will not feature in the remainder of this game. So now you have his running mate, McLaughlin. How good can he be? Because a lot of responsibility is going to be on 19 in blue as he spearheads the attack for the home side.
Well, there's no doubt this has been a tremendous atmosphere tonight at Wake Med.
And also, Josh, we talked about this in the Open for Charlotte Independence. You go out and you bring in experienced players that have played over the pond, that have played in Europe at some of the biggest clubs. So how do they lead now? What's the message to these youngest players? And what's this experience, right? You have to take it in, but obviously understand, do your simple things well, play yourself into this extra time period, and be the one to make the difference.
Substitution for Charlotte. Bashir Ndiaye will be coming off. Rayon JJ will be entering for this 30-minute period, and we are underway. 2 15-minute periods of extra time tonight. The 22-year-old from France enters. 2 goals, 2 assists. His first season with Charlotte here in the United States. Forward, Spielman. Laughlin moves it out wide. Cross comes in, somersaults there, heavy off his chest. He'll cycle it. It's driven back in, McLaughlin's up for it. Johnson taking no chances, sends it airborne. Maybe a chance to break. Kelly, Oberton. And here's Alvarez. Kelly through the middle. Overton in support. It's Dane Kelly, and just too far out in front. That is much more like it, though, from Charlotte in transition.
And it comes down to decision making from Overton. He bypasses Alvarez' run on the first look to create better passing lane, but it's a great ball in from Dane Kelly. He does the hard work. He slashes across his individual marker, but just too heavy on the ball across the 18-yard box.
Cervania, Puerto Rican international. Torres Blanco, El Salvador international. Now here's Dane Kelly, disrupted by Fernandez. Alvarez. Let's welcome in the third member of our team, Marion Crowder.
Talking to both head coaches about what their message was heading into this overtime period for Charlotte and Mike Jeffries. The message was simple. We've been here before, but we need to do a better job of finding our outlets and getting in behind them with our first pass, and we really need to make sure we negate the counter for this overtime period. And then on the flip side, for John Bradford's NCFC side, they need to stay together defensively and make sure that they put together a complete game, which now includes overtime.
Going back to that point about North Carolina in terms of doing everything together, right? Because that's why you bring in Cervania, because he's going to be the connective tissue between that midfield line and that front line. Watch out.
Overton in the middle. Kelly! Was there contact? There may have been, but not enough for the referee to point to the spot. Noel Johnson headed away. Cervania is trying to keep this for North Carolina. Rafa, great move around the corner. Now he'll slow things down, but important just to keep the ball here for North Carolina. Perez. Cervania couldn't keep it, and here's Dane Kelly. You wonder, does the threshold increase? Talk about hockey playoffs in terms of overtime. What does the referee have to do to give a penalty? It's probably the same thing here. It's got to be absolutely spot on. Here's Perez. Perez! He has let fly a few times tonight, and that's not a bad effort once again.
Well, we've seen him score goals throughout his career from distance. Right foot, left foot, no problem whatsoever. The technical ability is always on 100 for Perez. It just pulls this one a bit high. He seems like the one that's going to produce that magical moment for this North Carolina side. He's very comfortable on the ball, likes to beat you 1v1.
Overtime. JJ. Here's Rafa for North Carolina. In the ground, there's a whistle, and it goes against NCFC.
And those are moments, Josh said. I do think the substitution for John Bradford is extremely interesting. As you take off Anderson, you don't have that focal point to play off of. McLaughlin likes to make a run and likes to peel out wide. So who's going to play down the center of the spine? You're asking for Cervania to be that player.
Floated forward for Kelly. It was Fernandez who beat him to it. Alvarez, great skill to find Sis. Oberton, it's broken up. Slovenia lost his balance, but still kept the ball, only for a moment. Sis. See the movement from Kelly up top, but the ball hasn't always found him. Rafa. Dealing with Flanagan. Cross comes in, Spielman just cuts it out. Dane Kelly and Alvarez. Gabriel Oberton. Oberton's going for it, it's blocked. Another chance, deflected out. Corner kick, Charlotte.
Exactly what you want from the Charlotte Independent side, the decisiveness, to know what you're going to do before you get on the ball. No handball whatsoever from Fernandez, and as the ball pops out, equally up to the task is his running mate, Garcia. Deny Independence an opportunity on goal.
Fifth corner of the night coming for Charlotte. Alvarez will deliver. Into that near post and kicked away. Nearly snuck in. Crimson was alert to it. He'll do it again.
I'll tell you what, really interesting ball here from Alvarez. Almost catches Thompson sleeping at his near post.
Same sort of ball. Or as Blanco heads it out this time. Third time's the charm, we'll see.
You just see the pace that he hits it with. So now if you're an Independence player, you just need to run on and flick it. You don't need to hit it too hard, just change the direction for where this thing is coming in.
Lifted in, the header's in! Acosta rises above to give Charlotte the lead in extra time! And the third time is the charm!
We talked about set pieces, as Alvarez has done it 3 times, putting the ball in a dangerous area. It's not X and O's, it's not game plan, it's not tactics. It's just pure willingness to beat your individual marker and get this thing on target. Thompson does not come off his line. Acosta's first to react. Top corner, off to the corner to celebrate, and Charlotte Independence, they get their goal in the 100th minute and take the lead here.
Acosta, a massive moment to score your first goal of the season. The center back getting his head to it first. And Charlotte leads, still 20 minutes to go. Mike Jeffries and company have to feel pretty good about this now. A substitution as well. Nathan Ntalu, the Frenchman, has come on to replace Garrett McLaughlin. Well, two of the most potent goal scorers for this NCFC side. The 2 strikers no longer on the field. Oberton commits the foul. Luis Arriaga has also come on. He came on after the goal. He stands over the set piece and sends it in. It's knotted away and out for a corner kick. It is North Carolina's first of the game. Arriaga will stand over this. He came on for Rafa for the top 3 goal scorers. No longer on the field for John Bradford. Who will step up? Arriaga all the way to the back post. The header, put it back into the middle, and Oberton keeps it moving. Summersall. Cross fired in, the heads go up, Garcia was there. The glancing header is wide, it's a goal kick. He scored twice last week. Nearly found something here.
And both center backs from North Carolina advancing themselves into the attacking 18-yard box to watch the movement, a little sudden burst from Garcia. Clear opportunity, just mishits it. Doesn't get it on target. No snap header over his left shoulder. Really an opportunity, but talk about the ball in from Lu Young. Picture perfect, right on top of that 6-yard box. And that's on target. It's 1-1 here, Josh.
Just about 2 minutes away from halftime of extra time. And here's Dane Kelly for Oberton. Johnson.
I'll tell you what, Josh, since Alvarez has came on the field, this Charlotte side has been completely different through the run of play. The confidence the youngster has displayed on the ball in this pocket of space that he picks up, dead ball specialist, he's made a positive impact for Mike Jeffries and the Charlotte Independents.
How about that flick from Oberton, but the flag up for offside against Dane Kelly. Last year was the first time a 4 seed had made the USL League One final. First 2 finals won by 1 seeds. You see a 3 and then maybe a 4 here tonight. And North Carolina become the first 2 seed to win the USL League One final.
As you see, Charlotte Independents have every single player in their defensive half.
Blanco locked down.
One of the hardest things to do in football is to beat a mid to low block. 2 things need to happen here for North Carolina. The ball needs to move extremely quick, but also on that front line. The movement to pull center backs out of positions to open up gap for secondary runners. So how connected can that front line be for John Bradford and company here?
Maldonado, long throw, bouncing through the middle, it's Arriaga, it's still loose, it's Perez, it's a corner kick.
And Arriaga just runs onto this, you see at the top of your screen, he just comes in late, but talk about the last ditch defending effort from Sis and then Flanagan. Right place, right time, and yet again, another dangerous set piece for North Carolina.
An in-swinger. Pack comes to claim it. He was fouled. And some pushing and shoving. We weren't expecting any stoppage time in this first period of extra time. They may have just ended the first period of extra time. We'll have 15 more minutes. Coming up next here from Cary, the USL League One final. Things are heating up. Charlotte has found a goal. Come back for the final 15 minutes of extra time from Cary next. Halftime of extra time in this USL League One final. Charlotte has grabbed the opener by a 0-0. If you're just joining us, let's take a look back at the goal coming back in the first period of extra time. Here it was from the corner.
Set pieces, we talked about managing moments and being clinical, and you're attacking an 18-yard box. Acosta rises up above everyone, snap header over his right shoulder. Off to the corner, you see what it means to Mike Jeffries. You see what it means to the whole staff of Charlotte Independence. Big-time players stand up in big-time games. None bigger than Acosta.
Acosta gets his first goal of the season. And the first time Charlotte has scored first in the playoffs as well. Remember, last week they didn't score. They went to the penalty kick shootout and got the job done there. Greenville got the first goal in the quarterfinals. But now, will Charlotte hold on, or will North Carolina get back into this? North Carolina, they do have 5 wins this year when conceding the opening goal. 5, 6, and 3. Let's see what gives tonight with 15 more minutes. Late into the night here in Cary, North Carolina. With Ricky Lopez-Espin, Aaron Crowder down on the field. I'm Josh Eastern. Entire crew here from Wake Med Soccer Park. Mbuyu turning it back. Tracer Mbuyu into the middle and cleared away. Maldonado got his foot to it.
And it's the first time we've seen Mbuyu have the ability to express himself in the final third. 9 goals, 4 assists on the season. You expect the productivity once he gets in around that 18-yard box. Drop of the shoulder, secondary run. Good defending and box defending from North Carolina.
Overton. Running with Cervania. That goes against the Frenchman.
And we talk about North Carolina needing a goal. Anderson, Minzigan, McLaughlin, all off the field. Your leading goal scorers, 39 goals between that 3. The next one is Perez with 8 goals on this season. So who's going to step up when their team needs them most? Talk about the trust that John Bradford has in the players off the bench. Insalu, Arriaga, and Cervania need to come together, need to have the communication, the relationship to combine together and pull out one of the 2 center backs. Spielman and Acosta have been terrific, Josh. Everything has been in front of them, though. And you ask any center back around the world of football, easy day at the office. You just step up, you move left, you move right. When you face around your own goal, that's when the mistakes start to happen. So how do you get in beyond and play a little bit more direct if you're North Carolina here?
Maldonado again with the long throw. Didn't get the first flick. Comes out. Arriaga was met by Kelly. Fernandez under pressure. The referee wants to play advantage. And now he'll blow it dead. Fernandez is still down. Quick to get on with it, to play with some urgency. Johnson gets the cross away. Fernandez deflected into the air. Flanagan smacks it clear. Was there a foul? There was. And there might be a yellow card coming with it. And Intalu has his name taken.
And he catches Flanagan late. The ball's gone. And watch the swooping motion. The left leg from Intalu. It takes off. The feet underneath from Flanagan. Hopefully he's okay to keep on going.
Cervania. Talu battling with Flanagan. Spielman. Arriaga. Arriaga is down. It'll be a free kick for North Carolina. Narciss on about something. And now more pushing and shoving. AR has to come over and step in along with Sergei Demyanchuk.
I'll tell you what, Josh. Spielman comes in extremely rash here. Just stomps on Arriaga right in front of the North Carolina bench. You just see the displacement from John Bradford. I think he's extremely lucky not to see any sort of card here, Spielman is.
Perez delivers the free kick. Trying to turn it. Somersault! It's in! It finally goes! The moment to equalize for North Carolina!
You have to give credit to Garcia. Center back playing like a number 9, the hold up play, the first touch, and the ability and the vision to put this into the path of Somersault. There's information on this pass. He has to hit it first time. Just so unfortunate. Fourth pack. Summerhall hits, opens up his hips off the crossbar into the backside of the net. And North Carolina, they draw this thing up in minute 112.
Well, Somersault did all the hard work, but that should be an own goal coming off the crossbar and then on to Austin Pack. Pretty cruel there. And that will also be the end of the day for Gabriel Oberton as he comes off the field. It will be Brad Dunwell coming on along with Fabrice Inga. The other player coming off is Tresor Mbuyu. Two players that came off the bench last week against Union Omaha. But all of a sudden, North Carolina finally found a response, and we've been talking about those shots from right at the top of the area all night long. And finally, they get one to go. And maybe a little bit of lady luck for North Carolina. You gotta create your own luck in these sorts of games. Here's Flanagan. Flanagan, it's taken by Thompson. Seven and a half minutes. Will we find a winner? Who knows when the next time these two teams will play. A rubber match, if you will. For the series, 8-8-2. This is the 19th matchup. It's playing out like the series has been, as tight as could be.
Now for Charlotte Independence, you bring in Brad Dunwell. He's going to sit right next to JJ. That pushes up Sis as a number 10 underneath Dane Kelly. It's a different look in the center of the park for Charlotte.
Perez. Bit ambitious. Good catch in the crowd, though. Player down here, maybe just cramping. This game 114 minutes old. Perez back to his feet.
We talk about managing moments, Josh, but watch everyone in a white jersey just so aware of the ball. No one tracked the supporting run, but you have to give credit to Garcia, the composure to lay this into the path of Somersault. And yes, it takes a wicked deflection. You feel for Austin Pack because he does everything right. Just so unfortunate. Managing moments, understanding where you are on the field. Garcia's facing away from goal, so the secondary runs, the supporting cast are the players that are going to hurt you. No one man marks, and now it's 1-1.
Cervania. Cervania deflected out. It's a throw-in, and cue Mikey Maldonado, and a substitution as well. Lou Young will be coming off, and entering will be DJ Benton. A couple of Birmingham boys now on the field for North Carolina. Benton alongside Cervania from Birmingham, Alabama. Benton played at UAB last season, part of that Chattanooga team as well that made the final and lost. Long throw from Maldonado. This one headed out. Maldonado, infield, Cervania. The referee went down, so did Cervania, and this is just outside the area. Inches, but it'll be a free kick coming.
Gets the wrong side of Flanagan. Good first touch from Cervania, clearly outside the 18-yard box. Clear foul as well, as we see the ref take a tumble on the back end of it as well. But if you're Flanagan, you have to understand if you lunge in, you're going to get a lot of the contact. So clever for Cervania. He feels any sort of touch, he's going to make the most of it. He goes down. What a golden opportunity this is for North Carolina. In minute 117, about 19 yards out to find the back of the net here. A plethora of options, Josh. You can go low and hard to the goalkeeper side. Up and over, but it takes such a delicate technical ability to go up and over the wall underneath the crossbar. And if you're a goalkeeper, if you're Austin Pack, the key here, you have to trust your wall. You don't want to get caught cheating whatsoever.
It's a 5-man wall. Cervenia and Perez standing over this. Who is it going to be? And maybe some movement. They want to touch this into play and then hit it. 3 minutes to go in this USL League One final. And the drama is hitting its peak. This is Perez. Did it take a deflection? It did. It's a corner kick coming.
Like I mentioned, you have to have such a nice little touch to get it up and over. Dane Kelly does exactly what the wall needs to do. Stay together, touch it up and over the crossbar.
Could it be another corner kick? This time, though, to go North Carolina's way. The in-swinger put right into the mixer. There's a whistle there before anything, and a foul will end the threat. 2 minutes. Fernandez. Oh, Dane Kelly! Thompson slides in! And is that a foul? It is. Free kick to Charlotte. Nearly disaster for North Carolina. And Kelly's holding that right foot.
Just so opportunistic from Dane Kelly. He reads it, but if you're Fernandez, you have to be extremely sure when you play it into your goalkeeper. Give credit to Thompson, quick off of his line. Goal-saving tackle from the goalkeeper. And a sigh of relief from Fernandez.
Here's Luis Alvarez. He had the assist on Charlotte's goal tonight. And we're into the 120th minute. There is not much left. Alvarez delivers. In and out as far as Dane Kelly. Somersault battling. It's a throw into Charlotte. They might get the last chance at this. 30 seconds left. And subs coming on for North Carolina. It'll be Max Flick and Daniel Navarro coming onto the field. Gustavo Fernandez will be coming off. And Nelson Flores Blanco will be coming off. You wonder if these subs are just for penalties. And we are in a 1 minute of stoppage time. The last subs of the night for North Carolina. They've used all 6. Johnson taking off the ball. There's a whistle and a free kick going North Carolina's way. Is there one final push for North Carolina? Garcia, that is it. 120 minutes in the books. A goal apiece in extra time. And we are going to a penalty kick shootout. No bigger drama to decide the USL League One final. For the second straight week, Charlotte will go to kicks. North Carolina will get their first taste. After 120 minutes, this USL League One final tied at 1. Penalty kicks next. Back here at Wake Med Soccer Park, Cary, North Carolina, the USL League One final. We are headed to penalty kicks. It is Brooks Thompson of North Carolina, Austin Pack of Charlotte. Here is how we got to this point. No goals through 90 minutes, but then extra time. Hector Acosta gets the first.
And you just see the late trailing run at this back post, but the pure willingness to beat his individual marker. No one challenges it for North Carolina. Mike Jeffries all smiles off to the corner for Charlotte Independence, but the question mark was going to be box defending, winning their individual battles, especially in clinical moments. But as Garcia brings this down, everyone's just aware of the ball, so everyone tracks towards the ball. You see no one peeks over the left shoulder. Somersault, terrific take. Get it on target, you get a chance. Takes a wicked deflection. And you see what it means. North Carolina, they draw this thing 1-1.
And there's no bigger drama than penalty kicks to decide who wins a final. Charlotte went through these last week. They were 5 for 5. It was their second ever penalty kick shootout. Their other one, the 2019 US Open Cup, losing to the Florida Soccer Soldiers. As for North Carolina, just one all-time penalty kick shootout in their league playoffs history. It came in the 2011 NASL semis. And now in their final USL League One game, North Carolina FC will be going to a penalty kick shootout. If you're a striker, you were a striker, what's your mindset at this point in the game?
Confidence, mentality, slow things down, take a deep breath, and do not waver whatsoever from your spot. There's so many ways you can take a pen, Josh. Technical ability, if you watch a goalkeeper, you make him make the first move, you go the other way, or you just have your spot and you execute it to perfection. Mentality is a massive part because, yes, every single one of these players is tired. Fatigue mentally, fatigue in their legs. So decision-making and technical ability are the first things to go. But how do you rise above the adversity, stay true to your training, and execute it?
Both coaches have talked about they always have plans for penalty kick shootouts going in. But at the end of the day, you're in this pressure-packed moment. It's who do you want to step up and take these penalties? And there's nobody maybe better to do it than the USL Championship's all-time goal-scoring leader in Dane Kelly. 8 goals for him this season. And he steps up to the spot 12 yards away. It's a 5-round penalty kick shootout against Brooks Thompson. He might have experience from kicks from the spot in MLS Next Pro, but for Dane Kelly, it is the first kick of the penalty shootout, and he scores. Of course he scores. And a perfect start for Charlotte.
Confident from the get-go from Dane Kelly. The run-up, he knows exactly what he wants to do. Thompson guesses the right way, but just ropes this thing. Perfect pen. What a way to set the tone for your home side.
And for North Carolina FC, this will be Luis Perez. This season, it was only Rafa who scored their 6 penalties. He's not in the field anymore. It's Luis Perez. Perez delivers. It's 1-1 after 1.
Lovely plan here from Perez. Knows exactly where he's going, opens up his hips, and keeps them open. Sends Pack the wrong way. Cool as you would like.
Now for Charlotte, it is Joel Johnson. Last week against Omaha, he went top left. Can he do it again? It was a gutsy penalty. He pulled it off to begin the second round. Joel Johnson, it's saved! Brooks Thompson off the bar! Advantage North Carolina!
He didn't seem confident in the run-up as his eyes are on Thompson the whole way. It's a comfortable height for the goalkeeper, and Thompson does just enough to punch it off his crossbar. Big time save from North Carolina and their goalkeeper.
Jaden Cervania steps to the spot. 22-year-old Puerto Rican international, second season with North Carolina after a couple years with Birmingham. To try to give the advantage to North Carolina after 2 rounds. And Cervania slots into the corner. North Carolina leads 2-1 after 2.
Simple yet efficient from Cervania. Steps up, cool as you would like, shoulders over the bar, never raising. Slots it in to that near post.
Next up is the man who scored in extra time. It's Hector Acosta. He went right down the middle last week against Omaha. Let's see what he has for an encore. Acosta went for power and he scores. And it looked like Thompson stayed right down the middle.
And down the whole way, no nonsense whatsoever from the center back. You just see Thompson not quick enough to get his left leg out there. Sigh of relief from that man. Straight down the middle, you always run the risk.
Daniel Navarro was on the Chattanooga team a year ago. 2022 USL League One All-League first team. He came on right at the end of extra time. This could be his first touch of the game to try to keep North Carolina's advantage. And Navarro scores! Top corner! The advantage stays with NCFC.
It's never easy, Josh, when you start this run up straight onto the ball. Takes a little stutter step to his left, opens up the angles, and right where the spider sleeps, in that top corner. Picture perfect pen from Navarro.
The big man gets it done. Now Charlotte to begin this 4th round. It's 3-2 to North Carolina. Alvarez, he went bottom left last week against Omaha. The 20-year-old from Honduras. Alvarez scores. Charlotte trying to hang in this.
So impressed with this young man. The composure he's shown over the course of 120 minutes. Came on the field, raised the level, sends Thompson the wrong way. Composure at its finest from Alvarez.
It is Mikey Maldonado, the All-League first teamer. And Austin Pack come up with a big moment. Maldonado into the corner, and North Carolina's on the precipice.
Slow run up, knows exactly where he's going. The right shoulder comes above, low and hard, always gives you a chance. And Austin Pack guesses the right way, but just Maldonado hits it so clean and so pure.
Nick Spielman, he scored the game-winning penalty last week. He must make for Charlotte, and he does. But now, North Carolina can win it with the next kick.
The world of pressure on his shoulders, no problem whatsoever. Simple pen from the center back, Spielman.
Here we go. This is it. It's Luis Arriaga. his third season with North Carolina, the 22-year-old. If he makes this penalty, North Carolina are champions. Arriaga scores! They'll go out with a bang! And how about North Carolina FC, USL League One champions?
No questions whatsoever from the sub. Arriaga ropes it low and hard off to the corner. You are the champions of USL League One. You see what it means to him. You see what it means to Thompson. Well-deserved, North Carolina FC.
What a night here in Cary. The first star for North Carolina FC, Brooks Thompson, the hero tonight, the 21-year-old. And it's Arriaga who converts from 12 yards out to win it. Let's send it down to Marion Crowder, standing by with the MVP.
Raheem, you have been on this stage before, just one season ago. What does it feel like to win back-to-back League One titles?
It feels amazing. I don't even have a voice right now, but it feels amazing. I'm just happy. You know, we work hard all year, and there's been triumphs, but we pushed through, and the message from me was just believe. So it's an amazing feeling.
Belief you did. Your team had massive fight to get back late in this one and win it in PKs. What do you have to say about this group of guys that you work with?
Unbelievable. It starts from the coaching staff. They believed in us. They put the confidence in us. And every day, we just push each other and said, we cannot lose. We cannot lose. So I'm just, you know, great teammates. I can't ask for any better teammates, honestly.
Lose you did not, Raheem. Congratulations. Go lift a trophy. You're back-to-back League One champ.
You can hear the emotion in his voice, how excited he is, and you can see what it means to all these fans here in Cary. Such a proud club. The first season in 2007, a couple of years in the USL, going to the NASL, back to the USL Championship in 2018, then here to League One. And they will exit this league and head back to the championship next year as League One champions. And of course, on the other side, you say the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and that's what it is on the other side. Blood, sweat, and tears poured into this season. 35 games in the league, and it falls one penalty kick short. The Oak City supporters celebrating with their players. And they're just standing by for the trophy presentation. Hugs all around.
I think, Josh, you look at this North Carolina side. You go down, first part of extra time, Acosta scores a header. You have two decisions. You crumble, all the momentum is with the opposition, or do you stand up and you look each other in the eye and you have that belief? At halftime and extra time, you look down at the sideline for North Carolina. It was Somersault yelling at his boys, willing his boys to come together, to fight for one another. You talk about managing moments. You talk about the understanding.
You talk about the belief. And with that, big-time players standing up in big-time games. And you crown yourself USL League One final champions.
Great scenes here at Wake Med Soccer Park. The trophy in the hands of Garrett McLaughlin. We talk about this team, the biggest turnaround in USL League One history, finishing last place the last 2 seasons. That's worst to first. And they get their first star over their crest. Soccer means so much in this part of the country. We've talked about the youth development and what this team means to the community as well here in the RDU area. And now they'll be able to say they are champions. What a season this has been across USL League One, the 5th season. And our 5th unique champion. North Carolina FC, they have the trophy in hand. Garrett McLaughlin, who was the one to wear the captain's armband at the beginning of the game. And North Carolina FC are USL League One champions. That does it for our coverage tonight from Cary. For our entire crew, Marion Crowder on the field, Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Josh Eastern saying so long, North Carolina FC, USL League One champions.